back, everybody. So today we're going to have the next tasting of my Rakau SMaSH beer. This is with Pilsner malt. Now this is a small batch, 1.25 gallons going into the fermenter. 2 pounds, 4 ounces of raw Pilsner malt. Then for the hop schedule, 1 hour boil, 0.25 ounces at 30 minutes, at 10 minutes, at 5 minutes, and at 1 minute. US05 yeast was used. And for this hop, it is from New Zealand. High intense aromas of ripe stone fruit and pine is what they're saying the description is. So this was bottled on 11/21/2019, 5.27% ABV. So it is old. But that's, if you're new to the channel, what I've been doing is trying to save some of these just to see what beers would age well. And I believe with this one, I put it in one of my stashes and totally forgot about it. So that's why I haven't been reviewing this one lately. Good hiss, good smoke. I'm guessing this is using the bigger carbonation tabs. I could be wrong. You'd have to go back and watch the first review of this to see, because I would have known then. So let's go ahead and pour it in here. Pour it in here. Ooh, we're going to be carbed, which is a good thing. And I'm just saying, from this carbonation level that we're seeing now, my guess is I did use 2 of the big carbonation tablets. Cooper's has them, and Mr. Beer. Those are the 2 I've used, but one big tab is for 12 ounces, and because these are 22-ounce bottles, if I use 2, it should be a little overcarb, just because that's for 24 ounces, and this is 22. Off-white color head, small and medium bubbles, about 2 fingers of head. Bubbles on the side are compact and spread apart in there. Lots of bubbles coming up. Yellow in color. Chill haze, I can see through it. I can see the bell sign. I can see the light box. But yeah, lots and lots of bubbles coming up. Let's go ahead and smell. I would say the pine sticks out the most, but there's some like sweet fruit, like generic fruit. There's no way I could pick out that stone fruit coming off that hop. But yeah, some pine and sweet generic fruit is what I get. Sweetness. Sweetness is probably because it's older. I can see that sweetness coming through from that malt. That's usually what has happened in these older reviews, is we see that malt start turning up. Pilsner malt probably it should take longer because it's very lightly kilned. So maybe the sweetness would come before that malt just because it is a lighter grain. But let's go ahead and taste and see what we get. Light, refreshing. I don't know. It almost seems like there's some citrus, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's that stone fruit. If anything, there's a pretty good amount of bitterness in here. 10.3 was the alpha acid, so we're looking at 36, 40, 50, so probably about 56 to 60 IBUs. It probably drinks like that. I don't know if it drank like that when it was younger, but yeah, maybe it's that stone fruit in there, but the aftertaste is citrus. Yeah, it seems like maybe a little generic stone fruit, or generic fruit, more to the stone fruit that I've read that in the front of the taste. Goes back, a little sweet pine in there. Bitterness hits you. Aftertaste, a little bit more piney bitterness with I'm gonna call it citrus. Pretty good. It reminds me of a summer beer. Now I was looking for like a pale ale-ish type using that Pilsner malt. I think it's more of an IPA with the bitterness. I think the flavor of the hop has stood up, but again, that Pilsner malt is very light, so I could see any sort of hop staying a little bit longer. I'll have to make a note of that and check it on some more Pilsner beers, or made with that Pilsner malt only. I think now that the carbonation has settled down, it's fine, nice, cold, refreshing. Yeah, like generic low fruit, stone fruit, pine beer. And the pine's not really that big. It's just you can tell that it's there in the back. And I get a little as my palate warms up. I do get a little malt. So yeah, I think it's good. We'll I don't know how many more I have of this as I because I keep making them and I keep putting them all over the place because I run out. Like in front of the table is a row of beer. Then along the wall is a roll of beer. Then in another room I have a wall of beer. So I'll have to go through, and I've had this cold for probably about 2 weeks now. But yeah, head staying on. I think what I'm going to do in my next couple, I switched to the small pearl tabs, carbonation tabs, and I think I'm going to use 8. Usually I use 7 in a 22-ounce bottle because I believe it's 4 per 12 ounces. So I think I'm going to go to 8 and just see if the beers carbonate and have a little bit of a head more consistently as what we've been seeing. Now, this is a lighter beer, so maybe that carbonation does pick up quicker. There could be a little bit more sugar, a little bit more yeast. Some breweries do, what do they call that? It's like self-carbonate. That there's some sugar in each can or bottle, and then there's yeast added or in there, and that's going to produce your carbonation in your beer. So I'll go to 8 on the next couple and just see what they come out with. So yeah, pretty good beer. If you enjoyed this review, check some more out over here. And until next time, happy brewing.